This video is adding and subtracting fractions and mixed numbers, and it's level 4. So it's a little bit more challenging. You're going to have more complicated denominators. You're also going to have 2 or 3 expressions that need, or 2 or 3 fractions and mixed numbers that need to be added together. So let's have a look at a couple of examples. There'll be a worksheet on Moodle that you can practice when you finish this. Okay, and you can use the video for reference to help you if you need it. First one. So the fractions we have are 8 ninths, 11 twelfths, and then we subtract 1 sixth. So I'm just going to write them out really quickly. We have 8 over 9 plus 11 over 12 minus 1 over 6. Now we need a common denominator of each of these. Okay, a denominator. You don't just look at 9 and 12 and find a common denominator. You have to do it for the 6 as well. So what would be the lowest common multiple of 9, 12, and 6? Well, if you're not sure, you can do the LCM calculation process over here. On the side, if you want to, you can put 9, 12, 6, and you can begin dividing. Okay? And that's if you want to. Now, this is something you can do. I know that a lot of people are going to know straight away what the lowest common multiple is here. So you can just go through the process. Okay? And if you look in this case, you're going to see that you have, by finishing it, we know we're finished because we have 3 prime numbers here at the bottom and none of them repeat. And now we multiply them all up. 3 times 2 is 6, times 3 is 18, times 2 is 36, times 1 is 36. So our lowest common multiple is 36 in this case. A lot of you will have known that straight off and won't need to do this process, and that's fine. So it's 36 plus something over 36 minus something over 36. So 8/36, right, what did I, look at the bottom of the fraction, this first fraction here. What did I have to multiply the 9 by to get the 36? Let's multiply it by 4. That means the 8 on top must be multiplied by 4 as well to give us an equivalent fraction. So 8 ninths is 32/36. Now look at 11 twelfths. The 12 has to be multiplied by 3 to get 36. So to get an equivalent fraction, we multiply the 11 by 3 as well. So it's 33 over 36. And the 6 must be multiplied by 6 to get 36, so the top as well. So there you are. You have 3 equivalent fractions, but they all have the same denominator, which is what we need, which is what's important. Okay? So let's go through them. So I'm going to do the first piece here first, and then I'm going to subtract the 6/36. So if I do 32 over 36 plus 33 over 36, remember we just add the numerators. So it becomes 65 over 36, and I still have to subtract 6/36. And that is equal to 65 minus 6 is 59 over 36. And now we simplify that, or we turn that into an improper, or into a mixed number, which is very easy. You can do it by dividing, but you can also, a lot of people will just know that the answer 36 goes into 59 once, with 23 left over. There's our answer. So that was easy. Just the difference that makes it a little bit more tricky is that you have 3 numbers to find the common denominator for, and that there's a couple of extra steps. You're adding one and then subtracting the other. Okay, we could throw in 3 or 4 in a different question. Next, we have 8 11ths thirds. Right, this one is going to be quite tricky to find the common denominator for. So you can do the lowest common multiple thing if you want to. So we can do over here, I'll just do it really quickly, 8, 11, 3. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to find a lowest common denominator for each fraction. So a lowest common multiple for 8, 11, and 3. Right, so we'll divide 2 in here. I get 4. Doesn't go into 11, so I bring it down. It doesn't go into 3, so I bring it down. Go again. 2. Goes into 4 2 times. Doesn't go into 11. Doesn't go into 3. So I bring them down, and now I'm finished. So what have I got? 2 times 2 times 2 is 8, times 11 is 88, so 264 is my common denominator here. So you see this one is going to be a bit trickier because of the bigger denominator. Okay, you multiply all of these, you get 264. Alright, so it's something over 264 plus something over 264. That should actually be a minus here, sorry, excuse the error. Plus something over 264. Now, what do I have to multiply 8 by to get 264? Well, you can work it out. You can work it out by doing 264 divided by 8, which is 33. So that means you have to multiply the top of the fraction by 33 as well. So I get 297. Now that might be tricky for some people. Okay, to understand that 8 goes into 264 33 times, which means I had to multiply by 33. Now, 11 goes into 264 24 times, so now I have to multiply the 7 by 24, I get 168. And in the final piece, 3 goes into 264 88 times, so I have to multiply the top by 88, and I get this. So this is the exact same expression as what's on top, except it's written with the common denominator 264. So they're all equivalent fractions, but with denominator 264. Now, let's do the first two pieces together. So we're going to do this piece here. So 297 minus 168, you can work it out if you're not sure. That is 129 over 264. And we still have to subtract we still have to add the last piece, which is 88 over 264. Alright, so 129, should be a 4 there. 129 plus 88 is 217 over 264. You should always try to reduce your answers, and in this case it's actually impossible to reduce it. This can't be reduced, so we're done. Okay? Right, one more. We'll look at a problem where there's mixed numbers involved. So with mixed numbers, the first thing we need to do is to write each mixed number as an improper fraction. So, you have 9 and 2 7s, so you do 7 times 9 is 63, plus, sorry, hold on, I'll change that to black. So 7 times 9 is 63, plus 2 is 65, so it's 65 sevens. Okay, so this was what we practiced in class the last day. So 3 and 7 nines, so 9 times 3 is 27, plus 7 is 34, so minus 34 over 9. And then 2 and 1/5, so you have 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11, so that's 11 fifths. Now, we need to find a lowest common multiple of each of these. You can go through the process of the LCM here on the side if you want to. I happen to know myself that the lowest common denominator is 315. Okay? Now, what do I have to multiply 7 by to get 315? You have to multiply it by 45. You can check by dividing 7 into 315. So if I multiply 7 by 45, that means I have to multiply the 65 by 45 as well. So this is where you're going to get some big numbers, right? It actually gives you 2925. So you can do your calculations off on the side. What do I have to multiply 9 by to get 315? Excuse me, is 35. So the 34 must be multiplied by 35, and it gives you 1190. And then the last one, what does 5 have to be multiplied by to get 315? And it's 63, so the 11 is multiplied by 63, so we get 693 over 315. And now let's do our subtraction. So you may need to do this aside on separate scrap paper if you're not sure, okay? That's just the way that this works. It's just slightly more complicated calculations, and students who, it's just going to make it a little bit more difficult for some students. So we've 2925 minus 1190. So that's going to give you 1735 over 315. Okay, by subtracting it, then we have to add on the 693 over 315. So we're going to get, that's going to give us 2428. Okay, now we have an improper fraction. We need to change it into a mixed number, so we can do that by division. And if you do that, you're going to get, let me see, so you divide 315 into 2428. That goes in 7 times, and you have 223 over 315 remaining. Now that's particularly tricky, right? But the reason it's a level 4 is because there's more rigorous calculations involved and you have to be able to do them. This brings back, if you look at what we've done before, this brings back your ability to do the lowest common multiple. It brings back your ability to simplify fractions. It brings back your ability to write equivalent fractions. This combines everything into one kind of difficult problem. Okay, so your calculations have to be accurate here. So that's it. There's a worksheet on Moodle just below the link for this video. You can begin practicing the problems there, and I'm going to start helping small groups.